Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, after more than 40 years in the game as a coach, dad, and referee, a local youth sports author and expert is sharing the top 12 strategies every sports parent should know.
Plus, a new family-owned campground and resort in Aledo, Illinois. Whether you roll in with an RV or book a cozy cabin, we'll show you why Haven Hills has something for everyone.
And a can't miss antique shop in Galesburg, Illinois. From collectibles to unique handmade gifts, we'll learn more about the hidden treasures you can find at the junk drawer. Thanks for joining us on Quad Cities Live. I'm Morgan Otier.
And I'm Kyle Keel. Back to school season is obviously here. Sherrard Tigers went back today, probably get home from school. Hope you all had a great first day. And while parents are busy buying all the school supplies and packing lunches, there's one important item that's often overlooked. We're talking about the backpack.
The backpack. The average student carries 12 to 20 pounds on their back every single day. Wow. And for growing children, as you can imagine, that kind of daily weight can have lasting effects. Yeah. So joining us now with the do's and the don'ts is Dr. Tracy Nelson from Nelson Chiropractic. Dr. Tracy Nelson, thanks for being here today.
Yes, thank you. It's an important topic.
Yeah, it absolutely is. What a great idea for a segment, honestly. I remember that growing up as a kid and how the backpacks, you would see all the kids walking to school. Not only are they heavy, but they're like,
they're wide.
6 feet out. Yes. So, but talk a little bit more about that for us and why this is so important for growing bodies.
So, kids' bones are not bone. They are still cartilage. And so when you put a lot of pressure on them over a prolonged period of time, it actually can change the shape and function of their spine. So it can cause prolonged damage. And I noticed during COVID, we had kids, especially junior high age, where they had a lot of bags. They couldn't use their lockers, and their bags were almost 30 pounds, some of them. 30 pounds. All their books, their Chromebooks, their lunch, they couldn't put anything in their locker. And we had a couple patients that had rucksack syndrome, which is like a nerve damage in there. So that is something that can last a lifetime, but we just want to make sure that everybody is wearing their backpack the way they should.
Okay, talk a little bit more about the problems that can be caused by this. Posture, I mean, it can affect their posture for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, so it can change the shape of your actual vertebra, and it can cause tension, can cause headaches, which really can affect, if you have to walk a few blocks to school or wear your backpack for a while in the morning, it can already give you a headache. You're not going to be at your best to learn all day. So it can affect your learning, it can affect your sleep, it can, it can literally cause like rubbing, like abrasions and things like that. So it is, you just have to pay attention to it, right? It's very simple to fix, so you just have to notice.
Yeah, I'm starting to have some flashbacks of the pain that I was feeling on my shoulders.
I know,
with some of
you
those
can
heavy...
still, it's a memory, and it doesn't feel that distant, does it?
It sticks with you. So what are some of the common things that you see as an issue as a chiropractor when people are coming in, and specifically kids, with these issues from the backpacks? Because I was startled to know that the average is 12 to as high as 20 pounds. 20 pounds seems like a lot, especially when you think of maybe a second, third, fourth grader. Yeah,
so you don't want the weight of a backpack to be any more than 10% to 15% of the child's body weight.
Oh, okay.
That's not very much.
No.
So you really, I think the biggest issue is that they don't get cleaned out. You just need to have the minimum in there, and not just keep everything in case you need it. You want to be prepared, but you don't want to have too much. And then also, we're going to talk about how to put things in there to maximize it. But the other probably biggest thing that I see wrong is that they just wear it on one shoulder.
Oh, that was me.
I was going to ask about that because also it's popular right now with a lot of the girls too to have like the tote like that goes over the shoulder instead, or like exactly like the crossbody. Okay, so good to know that's probably not a good idea. All right, so we want to talk proper fit versus poor fit, how to wear the backpack correctly, and you brought a little friend with you.
I brought Kennedy. Come here. She's my mom today.
Hello,
okay, which camera are we on here? So is that the right one? Okay, so I'm gonna have you face this way.
So
what we want to see is that it shouldn't be too heavy, right? So sometimes you can have, if it's not very heavy, it can be bigger. The size doesn't really matter, but you just want to make sure, like for her, we want to make sure it's as tight as possible right here. If this was too loose, it would be hanging more. The other thing I want to show you on hers is in here we have Chromebook or whatever it is, computer.
Yeah.
And there's a
Yeah, kids have the
sleeve.
computers
Yeah,
these
there's a
days.
sleeve right up against her back.
Yeah.
And it's padded, but also because this is kind of the heaviest thing in there, you want the heaviest things closest to your back.
Makes sense.
Because the further away it is, the more it pulls you back,
Yeah.
right? So that is probably the biggest thing, is to put things in compartments. It holds them tighter to your body.
Okay.
And you know, for this one, that's the heaviest.
Well, and it's a
thing.
good idea because you sometimes think, oh, this is so cool. It has all these little compartments. Well, this is what it's for.
Yeah, it's what
Exactly,
it's for, is to distribute that weight properly.
Yeah.
You also want to make sure that these are good and padded, especially if they're going to be walking, you know, a good amount of distance. But that's probably the biggest thing, is to make sure that there's just as little as possible in here.
Okay.
But just try. After a couple weeks of school, put them on the scale with it and without it,
Sure.
and do a little math, and you can figure out how much it is, and try
Smart
to
idea.
eliminate things as much as possible. And most things are on their computers or Chromebooks now, so they shouldn't need to carry a ton of things. But another tip here is, let's say this is obviously not for 5th grade, right? Yeah, but it was the heaviest book I could find. And so what you're going to do for this, if you have something that is too big or too heavy for your backpack, you're just going to carry it and just kind of hug it. Yeah, you just carry it like that.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's just like, okay, I have to take this book home, like encyclopedias. That's what we took, but they don't
Yes.
make those anymore.
No.
But any kind of big book, or maybe even like a bigger computer that you have for a day, just carrying it outside of your backpack is really
wow.
going to save your back. It's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are all really good tips.
Yeah.
And one thing it makes me think of too, because like I see the cute little thing hanging off of her backpack. Is
Some
what
flair.
kids are putting, some flair, but what they're putting in their backpacks, because today my daughter tried to take like a bunch of stuff to camp. That is not necessary to take to camp, you know? And so even checking their backpacks for those items is gonna make it heavier, just because they wanna show it off and take it to school.
Yeah, who knows what's in there. But this is an example too of one. You want to switch these? This one is too big for her, so I kind of brought this to show, like, this is too big.
Oh, I
This is
see.
more of like a backpacking backpack.
Yeah.
So this is too big. Even though it has a lot of compartments, it's just, if this was full,
Yeah.
it would be too heavy.
Yeah.
So just wearing it, you know, weighing yourself with it, full and, you know, not, whatever. But just try to get the smallest backpack that has, you know, enough space for what you're going to need.
One size does not necessarily fit all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, Kennedy, thank you so much.
Good job.
And but I wanted to talk about chiropractic care as well with you, Tracy, because what are some things that can help if, in fact, like maybe I have a sophomore in high school, the problems are already there. They're already feeling the pain from the backpack. Maybe they're getting headaches and things like that. How can you help?
Yeah, so spines that are functioning properly are going to be more resilient. You're going to be able to carry more weight and things like that if you're functioning properly.
Sure.
Right.
So sometimes it's just a sign, you know, tension from carrying a backpack is a sign that you have some things going on in your spine, and things aren't balanced, and you just need an adjustment. And that's exactly what we do. We see lots of kiddos at our office.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And they can come in, and I read that you can help them with all of this.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have a sheet that is a check sheet for people, for your viewers to check their kiddos' backpacks.
Okay.
And that is available on our Facebook page, but also you guys have it too.
Yeah.
To be able to just kind of like, okay, what did they say? Like, what are we supposed to check
Write down
for?
the screen
And
for
so, yeah, it's just it's a check sheet to see what's going on in there. And then if
Perfect.
you'd like to stop by, you can call our office and schedule a time to just reassess.
Wonderful.
And you really recommend doing this checklist weekly just to make sure that we're keeping these kids on track and they're not hurting themselves.
Yeah, especially, you know, over the first few weeks when they're getting used to, like, what do I need and those kinds of things. Might be good the first day, but by the second week, heavy.
Heavy.
That homework piles up quickly.
Yeah, it does. Well, if you think that there's maybe a problem, or you have a child that could be struggling with just some of the things that we talked about here today, you can contact Nelson Chiropractic. You can make an appointment. We have the address and the phone number there on your screen, as well as the website. You can make an appointment online as well. As always, Dr. Tracy Nelson,
Yes,
thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Just another informative, great segment. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you to Kennedy as well.
Yes,
Well, just
Kennedy.
ahead, youth sports can be a wild ride. We're talking about the biggest mistakes parents make and how to help your child thrive both on and off the field with a local author next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
After more than 4 decades immersed in the world of youth sports as a coach, a ref, a parent, a facility owner, Gary Thrapp has seen just about everything.
And now he has compiled his wisdom into a new book called The Wild World of Youth Sports. with more than 150 helpful strategies inside its pages.
Yes, and Gary's goal is pretty simple, helping parents create more positive, supportive, and realistic experiences for their kids.
Yeah.
Gary Thrapp is joining us now to share his top 12 strategies from this book. Gary, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Yes, of course. I've been looking forward to meeting you. I've heard your name for so many years here in the community, so I appreciate you coming in. And I think a lot of people will go, I've heard of Gary before. They may recognize you from the organization Beyond the Baseline.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about that endeavor specifically.
Yeah, it's a youth sports gym that I purchased 20 years ago,
Wow.
going on 20 years. Yeah. Had seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in youth sports, as you can imagine, over that time period. A lot of passion comes in the doors.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so, but I've been able to gain a lot of experience on good things to do to help your child succeed and some things that don't quite work.
Yeah.
So I tried to package that up into this book.
And even prior to you getting Beyond the Baseline, I mean, you've had a lot of experience and a lot of history with youth sports. So you know a thing or two about what to expect and what to kind of guide these kids.
Yeah, primarily because I made a ton of mistakes. You know, growing up as a young
parent. It's the only way you
parent,
learn, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure the approach to take, but I knew I was serious about trying to help my kids, improve. So, I went to a lot of coaches clinics. I read a lot of books, watched a lot of videos on things, but it wasn't until I really gained that day-to-day experience when I saw kids and how they responded to coaching, both good and bad, did I start to wake up to, hey, I think that doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
Or this works better. Type of thing. So after making so many mistakes and seeing so many great things happen and not so great things happen, it's helped you feel like you kind of got an idea what to do now.
Absolutely. As a parent myself, I mean, we're both parents, but I have one that is now just starting to getting involved in sports, individual sports, team sports, dance, soccer, all of that. You kind of see yourself starting to form patterns as a parent and wondering, I don't know if this is the right approach. And so it's kind of nice that there's a little bit of guidance out there to kind of help us on the way. When you kind of think that you may be going in the wrong direction, or maybe you think you're going in the right direction and you're not. So of course we would love to talk about all 150 plus strategies here today.
A few minutes.
But we only have a few minutes. So let's try and get through all 12 of them, and we'll see where we end up. So the very first one, find a coach team program with compatible goals.
Yeah, and that's sometimes tough because there's not a lot of opportunities out there, realistically, in each of the sports. So you want to be real careful. You might not be able to travel a lot in a particular situation, and you think you're in good shape, and all of a sudden the coach wants to go further. So those are things, questions you want to ask from the beginning, just so you get a good feel of what you're involved with and if it's a positive experience or going to be for your child.
Okay.
And this next one, it makes me feel good because I've kind of instilled this in my kids. They're 3 and 4 and in gymnastics right now. And we always tell them, like, hey, let's do a little bit of practice. We don't want to wait until game day or practice day to kind of get into that routine.
Yeah. That's what I loved about having kids in particular was didn't so much care about what I did during the day out at work, right?
Sure.
I couldn't wait till I got home and working with my kids and try to help inspire them and help them gain confidence. So that is so important to work with your kids later at night. Try to help them progress, try to help them gain confidence, and then you gain that lifelong connection that will never go away. I just love it.
Yeah, you're so right about that. Understanding the commitment that is needed to help your child be competitive. You use a term called patient aggression.
Yeah.
What does all of that mean?
Be very aggressive with the approach you take with your child, meaning keep them active, keep them involved, keep them going in a positive way, be patient with the results.
Okay.
So often we can dictate whether we're in a good spot or not based on a performance or a win or a loss, when realistically we have to look at their daily routine, their every other day routine, whatever your approach is, and that's most important.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it can go a long way for sure. So obviously practice. That skill work is very important in their development and them furthering themselves in their sport.
And that's difficult to find coaches that really understand skill work. That's one of the biggest challenges parents have is to really know if a coach understands how to develop skill.
Okay.
And some do, but a lot of them do not. So that's one of the biggest challenges we have.
And that one kind of goes hand in hand with your next point, which is have a child on a team with at least one trained or experienced coach. I know, especially when kids are super little and they're doing like the 3 and 4 or 5-year-old, like let's say it's soccer, for example. I mean, at that time, they're just looking for potentially just parents to sign up and be there and coach these kids. But as they get older, as they progress, it's important to seek out somebody who does know a thing or two about what they're talking about.
Yeah, and that's, again, the biggest challenge is to find, you know, a coach that can help your child get better. And it's very difficult because someone can become a coach if they wake up and say, hey, I'm a coach now. All of a sudden they're a coach. There's no necessarily training required. Just grab a whistle or what have you, and there you go. You're ready to go.
This was not a problem with me because I was not very athletic as a kid.
This one stresses me out to read.
Yes, but I mean, my brother, you know, he was very much the sports fanatic as a kid. He wanted to be involved in basketball, baseball, wrestling, football. But it's not really a good idea to get the kids involved in too many activities. One of the big things you want to teach your child is to be a good teammate. And you can't do that if you're missing practices, if your child is on too many things. Now it's great to keep kids involved. We have a whole host of kids in our community that need to be involved in stuff, right? But you don't want to overwhelm them. You want to give them breaks, give them, you know, time to just chill a little bit. But at the same time, keep them active. So that's a tough one to balance.
Okay, well, as we run out of time, I want to get to a couple more. And this was one of them, helping a child set challenging yet realistic goals.
I've got 4 kids. A lot of people have multiple kids. Every child is a little bit different, right? So, you know, one goal does not fit all. It's easy to say, hey, you want to be a college athlete, right? Well, okay, that might be a nice goal to work hard towards, but it's not realistic for everybody because not everybody ends up wanting to be one. So you want to definitely be a good parent for each of your children in a different way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Always feel blessed.
I'm telling you, our kids, we try to help when they come in the gym, help them feel like it is awesome that they have an opportunity to play in a sport, because some kids do not. So we try to build that good foundation of feeling blessed that they have the opportunity to compete.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, there were a few more that we didn't get to today that are equally as wonderful and just eye-opening, kind of gets you thinking a little bit. So, you know, and I only got to take a look at your top 12, and there are many more in there. So I would encourage people, to pick it up and give it a read.
And if you want to learn more about Gary and his work, he's not written one, but he's written 4 different books. And he also has a podcast. So if you want to learn all about his podcast and his other books, you can visit his website that we have on the screen, GaryThrapp.com. And we'll, of course, have all of this on our website as well. Gary, thanks for spending some time and sharing some knowledge with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Coming up on QCL, a conversation about end-of-life care filled with compassion and clarity. Meet the doula, helping families find peace and purpose during life's most tender moments. Next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
When we make decisions about our health, we often avoid discussions about end-of-life care. It's a time that can be filled with uncertainty, emotion, of course, and oftentimes unspoken questions. Today, we are honored to welcome back Becky Nakashima-Brooke, owner of Illuminate Healing Studio. Becky, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes, I've missed you around here. I'm glad that that we could have you back to talk about all of this. But first, I want to start and talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you do over at Illuminate.
Sure. So I'm Becky, like you said. At Illuminate Healing Studio, I offer yoga classes, I offer Reiki, therapeutic sound, Thai body work, end-of-life care, and then I offer things out into the community too as well. So I teach Qigong in the community at a couple of different places and guided meditation at the Figgy.
You wear all sorts of healing hats, I like to say, whenever we talk with you. And you brought some items with you here today that kind of aid in your practice, which I want to get to in just a minute. But one of the things that you mentioned that you offer are end-of-life services as a doula. So what does that mean? Because I think oftentimes, in case people have caught you on the show before, they may not know what that means. They hear of doula oftentimes, I think, during childbirth, but not necessarily when it comes to palliative care.
Right, exactly. So end-of-life care is pretty much what I do with as an end-of-life doula, I can start with anybody at any point in life trying to process what your wishes are for the end of life. Typically though, I have people coming when they are in palliative care or they're in hospice care. So I'm non-medical, but I can help with simple things like task, giving respite for a caregiver. But typically what I have found, I've been doing this for about 2 years now, is that the majority of the time, I'm not doing much of like paperwork or anything. I'm utilizing all the tools that I have as far as like holistic care. So the sound healing, or therapeutic sound, however you'd like to say it, and then the Reiki, and just offering that kind of cares. And then sometimes I could do Thai body work, depending on how the person's feeling. So that's what I found that I usually do, is just bringing that calm to the person so that they're in less pain, and there's a lot of fear around death, right? And even when someone's dying, they've usually come to a point where they're more accepting of it, but there's still all the things, the body's slowly shutting down, just like there's a labor and birth, there's a labor and death.
Wow. Okay. So you brought some tools that you use, for lack of a better term, and this is for sound healing?
Sure. So oftentimes people at the end will want me to do some sounds. These are kind of some of my little travel ones. If the person's come to me several times, there might be certain things that they want.
Yeah.
So this is like a very small portion of what I have. I have too many instruments, probably.
I don't think so. They're all great. Yeah.
They're all fun. So these are bowls, and I just brought, I forgot my singing bowl one, but what's kind of nice about these ones is they don't strike too hard, and they're softer. So like this is one of my favorites. So it's just real soft. Yeah. But if I wanted like a higher pitch, I would do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a little baby singing bowl that not a singing bowl, it's a little baby tongue drum. So it's just kind of some fun stuff. Tuning forks are also really nice. They're easy to travel with, they're small, so that if sometimes I'm in a hospital setting and sometimes in a home setting.
Sure. So this makes it easier, and I can understand it. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. The sounds are beautiful, and there are a variety of ways in which Becky uses these for you know, different healing sessions. It doesn't have to be during palliative care. There are a lot of times where people can take advantage of this. So I just want to make that clear to folks that they can enjoy this at any time.
Yes, definitely.
So why is it that you enjoy this work so much?
Oh boy. Well, so in 2003, I lost my brother unexpectedly. He was 24, and oh, thank you. And at that time, my dad was sick, and I was his primary caregiver. So he passed away in 2004. And having experienced unexpected death and death that was expected, I got to see just such a different range of how I reacted and how people reacted around us.
Yeah.
My dad was able to plan everything. He wrote his obituary. He wrote down everything he wanted for his funeral. I made videos for him so that he could see beforehand how everybody felt about him, have him hear the things that people wait to say, you know, at the funerals. So my brother didn't get to experience that. So with that, and then with the having people come in for different things with me, you know, I'm a nice complementary to medical care as well as therapy. So I'm not a replacement for that, but I'm a nice complement.
Absolutely.
So people come for me for anxiety, depression, end of life, terminal illness, and with that, seeing how I've helped them, and you know, I get such good response of like, you know, even if someone's terminally ill, they'll say, even for this hour and a half, I didn't experience any pain, and that alone is big.
Yeah, absolutely. And you speaking about your dad reminds me just to at least make mention today of this EndNotes guidebook.
Right.
So, and we'll have to have you back to talk specifically about that, but this is a really good, as you've put it, kind of conversation starter, or something that people can do when they're kind of trying to make these choices, decisions, or just feel more comfortable having end-of-life discussions.
Correct.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Becky, thank you so much.
You.
It's always illuminating, for lack of a better term, to have you here. You can contact Becky really for a variety of healing services at either the email address or the phone number right there at the bottom of your screen. You can also find her contact info by visiting her website, illuminatehealingstudio.com, and we will be sure, of course, to include this information on our website. As always, Becky, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Morgan.
Yeah, thank you. Still to come in our second half hour, a brand new campground and resort in Aledo that is redefining how we unplug, explore, and unwind. We'll take you to Haven Hills. Plus, from coins to collectibles and everything in between, we'll get a closer look at the junk drawer and antique shop in Galesburg.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Tucked into the rolling countryside of Aledo, Illinois, a new family-owned campground and resort is turning childhood dreams into a destination. It's called Haven Hills, and it's marked by wide-open spaces where families can unplug, explore, and connect. From glamping yurts to full hookup RV slips and tons of fun activities for kids and adults, Haven Hills has something to offer every kind of camper. We're here at Haven Hills Campground in Aledo, Illinois with owner and operator Alan Henshaw. Alan, thanks for chatting with us today.
No worries, the pleasure's mine.
Yes, we're excited to learn all about this place. It's beautiful. But first, we want to learn a little bit more about you. So give us some of your background and tell us about your family.
Yeah, so happily married. I have two children, 8 and 4. And we've always dreamed, or I've always dreamed of owning a campground. My father ran a state park for 40 years in Illinois, so I kind of grew up in the environment. Went to school at Western Illinois, double bachelor, geography and recreation, and went on and received a master's in recreation and had this opportunity, and boy, I took it, and here we are.
Oh my gosh, a master's in recreation. We all took a wrong turn by not doing that, I think.
That's what I thought too. Who would not want to wake up and camp and do all the recreation
and be outdoors.
stuff? Exactly.
Where does your love for the outdoors come from?
I tell you, having a childhood of going down with the father and taking camping tickets and meeting families from all over statewide and even bordering states, and I still friends with some of those I met from childhood even when I was younger. So I think the quality of providing a recreation environment is truly what recreation is all about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to get into Haven Hills. So when did this all start for you? Give us a little history about this space specifically.
Yeah, so we started construction in 2023. We just kind of brainstorming, what could we do with this 155 acres out here? In Mercer County, there's not really a lot of lodging here, so we kind of brainstorm a little bit, and then 2024 we really put the shovel in the dirt, and now you see Haven Hills. We got 34 cabins, we've got 3 glamping yurts, 40 RV slips, and that's just starting of our vision out here. We do plan on adding another 48 RV slips. We got a pool coming in this fall with a hot tub, so we're constantly changing, trying to improve the environment out here.
Well, I was going to say, I can't believe I hadn't heard of this before, because it is such a special place, and that's because it has happened so quickly.
We're obviously brand new. We don't really want to go 100-mile-an-hour into this, because we really don't know what to expect.
It's funny to hear you talk about that because I feel like there's just so much here already that to do and to explore and experience, especially for the kids. So before we get into all the amenities, tell us about the different places that you can stay here at Haven Hills.
So there's 34 total cabins. So there's 18 king cabins, and then there's 16 queen cabins. The king has its own separate bedroom, but they both sleep up to 6. They all have kitchenettes, linens, dishwashers, microwaves, cooking utensils, all the such. Then I got 3 glamping yurts, which are 30 foot in diameter. They both come in 2 queen rooms, a day bed trundle, the kitchenettes, everything, the showers, and they also got the 36-inch dome on the top that you can actually see out, and it's really special. They're really
Look
neat.
up at the stars.
Yes, exactly.
That's wonderful. What kinds of guests are you seeing here?
We have everything from massive amount of family coming in, which are great. I love those. And then we have the typical, the grandparents that want to come in. They have family close to town. They come in, they have their own little retreat. Then we have someone just passing through. Oh, I see you at campground. You can do pickleball, you can do basketball, you can do horseshoes. There's 8 lakes out here you can go fishing out of. There's 2 large jumping pillows, a 4,300 square foot splash pad, over 2 miles of continuous cart paths. There's 3 holes of ball golf, a driving range, a disc golf course, You know, we got a bark park for furry little friends out there if they want to bring their pets in town. And again, recreation, there's really unlimited possibilities what you can do for recreation. I mean, it could be simple as doing a yard game, playing huge Yahtzee outside, or, you know, simply just sitting around cooking a marshmallow and a s'more. So ultimately, anything is possible.
So indoor amenities as well. So a lot of times when you camp, I mean, that's out the window, but it's not always easy, especially if you maybe have really young children or something like that. You like to have at least some type of amenity close by. We're sitting inside of that right now.
Correct.
What else do you have as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, so we have the rainy day room, which is where we're sitting at right now. Everything's free. Even the video games are free. We have an outdoor movie theater. They can elect to play whatever movie they want to play. And I play it out there for them at dusk. And we have bingo, we have live music, we have a little bit of everything for everybody to enjoy. And really, just let me know what you want and I'll make sure it happens.
That's amazing. So you talked about future plans a little bit when we first started chatting. Let's get into that a little bit more. So within what, the next year, year and a half, you're planning on putting a giant pool out here on the property?
Yes, so we've already had plans. We already got everything ready to go. We'll have cabanas around it. We'll have a spa, hot tub. So you can picture yourself on a nice, cool October evening with a hot tub, you know, enjoying your family and friends all around in our pool and such. And then the splash pad too, that way so the little kids can have the best of both worlds. But yes, we will have this time next year we'll be firing on all cylinders aquatic-wise.
Tell us a little bit about, you know, as we wrap up today, the responses that you've gotten over the last year as folks have come and stayed here at Haven Hills. What are some of the things that they've had to say about their time?
I wish they would have known about it earlier. Most of them, they say you did everything right. So, which is like a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I like to meet everybody, listen to their story, see any feedback I possibly can. But 5 stars. I mean, we're 5 stars today.
So the very last thing that I wanted to ask you about, we just noticed this really cool map in the rainy day room where you have all these little like tacks where people are from. Imagine yourself 5 years down the road. What do you want that map to look like? Well,
we'll probably have to invest in a larger map and more tacks. So it was just a good visual to see where everybody's coming from. I mean, we have people from San Jose, California, from Clearwater, Florida, Brownsville, Texas, even up to Maine, Montana. And it gives a guy goosebumps realizing that people found you. Come on down to Haven Hills. I'll meet you personally, and we'll give you a tour around. And if it's somebody you want to share your memories with and build, I'm here for you.
Haven Hills Campground and Resort is located in Aledo, Illinois. You can choose your accommodations and take a look at rates by visiting them online. To start planning your visit, head to havenhillscampground.com. Coming up, a 1950s bar turned antique shop. We are taking you inside the junk drawer in Galesburg, where more than 30 vendors come together under one roof to offer vintage finds, handmade goods, and hidden treasures.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
From a bar built back in 1950 to an antique shop boasting 1,500 square feet of vintage treasures.
Yes, the junk drawer in Galesburg has gone through a total transformation. It's now home to more than 30 small vendors. Wow. Joining us now is co-owner Kelly Kistler, and she even brought a few one-of-a-kind, unique items to show up. Kelly, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, and we appreciate the setup here. It really gives everybody a great idea of the eclectic, as we decided was the term before we got started today. Items that you offer in the store, but you know, your business existed long before the space that we're talking about right now.
Right.
So tell us a little bit of that background and how you got started in all of this.
Well, I started back in 2012, a little one-room building. I like to go to auctions, and I had all this leftover stuff. I didn't know what to do with it, so I was like, oh, I'll sell it. I started in that building for 1 year, and then I moved to Cherry Street for 9 years at a different building, and then I bought this building back in 2022 and refurbished it, and made it into my own place. So it was a lot of work to get this old bar that was full of trash back into vendor areas. I made it look like little houses, so each person had a own little house.
Oh, look at that right there. So we're looking at it right there,
huge.
located on North Chambers Street. So talk a little bit more about that transformation, because like you said, a lot of work had to go into this, transitioning it.
Yeah, it was a year to get power,
oh my gosh,
because I had to put a whole new power system in it and all new plumbing and everything in there. And then my friend Leanne and I, we built the walls. We did everything ourselves. We built all that.
Nice job.
For us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. So let's talk about some of those vendors. Just kind of give people an idea of the variety of things that they can find inside the junk drawer.
Yeah, I have over 35 vendors, and each person carries a little different things. We have coins and rings, handmade crafts, antiques, primitives. We have a little bit of everything. Our logo, our slogan is, "You never know what you'll find in the junk drawer." So
I love that.
Everybody has a junk drawer, right?
So, yes, a little Kiss-inspired potted plant there.
My husband I like mannequins, and my husband likes Kiss, so we
so you created that?
Yeah, my husband,
I love that.
We have all the Kiss characters, but I wanted to show.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, well, and kids, you know what this is. Actually, you probably don't. This is a phone. They look a lot different now. This really, we were talking about this before we started the segment. This is a beautiful item.
It is.
It really is. It's like art.
Yeah.
It's real heavy. It's made of marble. It's a very nice item.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very cool. And vintage toys as well. I think I actually had this.
Really?
When I was
too.
Yes, when I was a little girl. And that for me is fun now, as a parent.
Yeah, you get the nostalgia feeling.
You get that nostalgic feeling, and when your kids also like that stuff, like we've got the little troll dolls down here and everything.
Yes.
I mean, I used to collect those when I was a little kid. It's just cool to be able to go back and go, wow, at least somebody hung on to this.
Yes.
Right.
So that we could see it again.
Right.
When
customers come in, that's like they say it's down memory lane that their grandparents had this, and they remember that as a child and stuff, and it's really neat. Brings back a lot of memories for people when you see these kind of things here.
Yeah, and it's not just the the vintage, the nostalgic feel, but you also have things that are kind of present day. Falls around the corners. You've got little creations like this with an actual piece of a tree limb there.
Yeah, we have handmade crafts. A lot of that, and there's a lot of different handmade crafts that we have in the store, different vendors and stuff like that. I love fall, so I like to decorate for fall, so that's what crafts I like to do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and with everything that you have collected on your own and everything that your vendors either are creating or collecting themselves, is that something that you keep in mind as we change seasons? I mean, do you change up the store a little bit?
Oh yeah, and I like to decorate. That's where it all, I think, began, is because I like to decorate, and so I switch out the main foyer area with different seasons and everything. I have mannequins. I dress them up for different seasons, Halloween and Christmas and all that. So I love doing that kind of stuff. So
that's great.
Yeah. So like you said, you have about 35, maybe a little more vendors.
Yep.
So how do you choose those vendors? And if anyone's watching the show in the Galesburg area and they want to be a part of the junk drawer,
I'm
how do you get
actually
involved?
full right now, but I'm remodeling another floor because it's a 3-floor building. So once I get that remodeled, I ask what they sell. I don't like to have duplicate vendors,
Makes
so
sense,
we try to get different people in there and stuff like that. So
one thing too that we wanted to make sure that we asked you about, you have a second location for the junk drawer, the Junk Drawer 2.
Right.
Tell us about that.
I have a store in Mequon, Illinois that it's a smaller 1-floor building. And
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's open during scenic drives, the fall and the spring scenic drive. And then I have vendors on the side yard that sell their items too. So during the scenic drive, you have to stop in there too.
Well, what do you feel like, kind of sets the junk drawer apart from maybe other antique shops and things like that people may come across?
We have like a variety, a lot of crafts, a lot of vintage. You never know what you'll find in there because my vendors are really good about restocking their booths and bringing new things in, and I don't have to bring everything in. That's why I like vendors, because they can bring in different things than what I like. And so there's a variety of different items. So
that's
something for everyone, that's for sure. Well, the junk drawer is located on North Chambers Street in Galesburg, Illinois. And of course, we've got the junk drawer 2 in Mequon. We have the address to the Galesburg store on your screen, along with the hours and the phone number. And of course, you want to follow along on Facebook, the junk drawer. Kelly, thank you so much for making
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Thank you, and thank you for watching today.
Your local news at 4 is coming up next. We'll see you later.